1. Istanbul, the city of two continents. Istanbul is not just a city, it's a living, breathing mosaic of empires, cultures, and civilizations, straddling both Europe and Asia. This former capital of the Byzantine and Ottoman empires offers an unmatched blend of East and West. Begin in Sultanahmet, where the Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque, and Topkapi Palace tell stories of grandeur and conquest. Walk through the Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest covered markets in the world, filled with everything from spices and carpets to jewelry and antiques. Drift along the Bosphorus Strait on a ferry, catching breathtaking views of Ottoman mansions and minarets. In the trendy districts of Beyoğlu and Kadıköy, Istanbul shows its modern, bohemian face, packed with cafes, galleries, and vibrant nightlife. Wander through Balat's colorful streets, explore modern art at Istanbul Modern, or simply sip Turkish tea as the call to prayer echoes through the hills. Climb Galata Tower for a panoramic view of a city where domes, mosques, and skyscrapers share the skyline. In Istanbul, every corner feels like a step into a different century. 2. Cappadocia, the land of fairy chimneys and hot air balloons. Deep in central Anatolia lies Cappadocia, a region unlike any other on Earth. Its surreal landscape shaped by ancient volcanic eruptions, and sculpted over millennia by wind and water features bizarre rock formations known as fairy chimneys, vast underground cities, and churches carved into cliffs. But the true magic begins at sunrise, when hundreds of colorful hot air balloons take to the skies, floating over valleys like Gorim, Love Valley, and Pasabag. Visit the Gorim Open Air Museum, where Byzantine cave churches still display their original frescoes. Explore the Drinkuyu or Pamukkale underground cities, vast subterranean labyrinths once used to hide entire communities. Hike through hidden valleys lined with vineyards and ancient dwellings. Spend the night in a cave hotel, and wake up in a fairytale you'll never want to leave. Don't miss a sunset over Red Valley, where the rocks glow pink and gold. Cappadocia is not just seen, it's felt in every stone, cloud, and silence. 3. Pamukkale, the cotton castle of mineral wonders. Pamukkale, which means cotton castle in Turkish, is a geological wonder that seems pulled from a dream. Its cascading white travertine terraces are formed by calcium-rich thermal waters flowing down the hillside, leaving behind deposits that shimmer under the sun. But Pamukkale is more than just a pretty facade. At its summit lies Hierapolis, an ancient Roman spa city, where you can walk along colonnaded streets, marvel at a remarkably preserved amphitheater, and even bathe in the antique pool, where ancient marble columns lie submerged in warm, healing waters. Combine natural beauty with history as you gaze over the Mendes Valley stretching endlessly below. At dusk, the terraces glow like ivory steps to the heavens. Stay in a nearby thermal hotel, and soak in mineral pools under the stars. Every step here feels like walking through nature's own palace of light and water. 4. Ephesus, a journey through time and civilization. One of the most extraordinary archaeological sites in the world, Ephesus is a window into the grandeur of ancient Rome and Hellenistic Greece. Walk down the marble street once trodden by Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Stand before the majestic library of Celsus, one of the most iconic ruins in the Mediterranean, and imagine scholars once reading by torchlight. Visit the Great Theater, which once held 25,000 spectators, still echoing the dramas of millennia past. Nearby lies the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. With its intricate mosaics, columns, and history steeped in myth and religion, Ephesus transports you across centuries. The House of the Virgin Mary, just up the mountain, is a sacred pilgrimage site. Here, the stones themselves seem to breathe with the voices of empires gone. 5. Antalya, turquoise coastline and ancient ruins. Antalya is the gem of Turkey's turquoise coast, where crystal clear waters meet Roman ruins, lively bazaars, and luxurious resorts. In Kalaichi, the city's beautifully preserved old town, narrow cobblestone streets wind between Ottoman-era houses, and lead to scenic harbor views. Relax on the beaches of Konyaaltı or Lara, or take a boat trip along dramatic sea cliffs to find secret coves and waterfalls. Nearby ancient cities like Perj, Aspendos, and Termios let you walk among Roman temples and theaters nestled in pine-covered hills. Discover the Duden waterfalls, where water cascades into the Mediterranean from a cliffside. The Antalya Museum is one of the finest in the country, with artifacts from every age of Anatolian history. It's a city where every day offers the choice between history's embrace and the sea's endless horizon. And when night falls, the harbor comes alive with restaurants, music, and the scent of the sea, offering a magical close to your day. 6. Mount Nemrut, Throne of the Gods. High in the southeastern mountains of Turkey lies Mount Nemrut, a remote and awe-inspiring UNESCO World Heritage Site. At its 2,134-meter summit, you'll find a surreal collection of massive stone heads and seated statues erected by King Antiochus I of Commagene in the 1st century BC. These colossal figures, representing Greek and Persian deities and the king himself, sit in solemn silence atop a royal tomb, facing east and west for sunrise and sunset. Watching the golden sun rise behind the decapitated heads is one of Turkey's most mystical and unforgettable experiences. The eerie stillness, high-altitude air, and cosmic aura make it feel like a place between worlds. Even the journey here, through rugged passes and remote villages, feels like a pilgrimage to the edge of time. As the wind whistles through the stones, you can almost hear the voices of an ancient kingdom calling across the centuries. In the fading twilight, the statues seem to awaken, keeping eternal watch over the valleys below. It's a mountaintop where earth and eternity meet. 7. Bodrum, Aegean elegance and coastal chic. Bodrum is Turkey's cosmopolitan seaside jewel, where whitewashed houses, lush bougainvillea, and sapphire blue waters create a stunning Mediterranean atmosphere. This ancient city, once home to the mausoleum of Halicarnassus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, now blends historical richness with upscale leisure. Explore the castle of St. Peter, which houses the Museum of Underwater Archaeology, then stroll the elegant Bodrum Marina, lined with yachts, boutiques, and cafes. Spend your days beach hopping, sailing along the turquoise coast, or sipping cocktails at sunset on a gulet. At night, the city pulses with music, lights, and laughter from beachfront bars and bohemian clubs. Here, days melt into nights, and the sea's rhythm becomes your own heartbeat. Bodrum is not just a destination, it's a state of mind, where history and hedonism dance together under the Aegean moon. Each morning greets you with the scent of the sea, and the promise of another story to tell. It's a place that stays in your soul long after you leave. 8. Sumela Monastery, a miracle on the cliffside. Tucked into the sheer cliffs of the Pontic Mountains in northeastern Turkey, the Sumela Monastery seems almost impossible, clinging like a dream to the forested rock face above the Altındir Valley. Founded in the 4th century, this Orthodox monastery dedicated to the Virgin Mary is a masterpiece of Byzantine devotion and engineering. The journey through misty pine forest to reach it is as thrilling as the destination itself. Inside, fresco-covered chapels and monks' quarters whisper centuries of faith and solitude. The panoramic views from its stone terraces stretch across a landscape that feels untouched by time. It's as if the mountains themselves chose to guard this sacred sanctuary. The air here feels pure, charged with the quiet strength of centuries of prayer and isolation. Even the silence has a voice, telling tales of devotion carved into the stone. Sumela feels less like a site you visit, and more like a vision you're granted. As clouds drift by, it feels as though the monastery itself floats in the sky. In winter, it transforms into a frozen fortress suspended between heaven and earth. It is a place where your breath slows, your voice softens, and your soul feels heard. 9. Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest temple. Predating Stonehenge by over 6,000 years, Göbekli Tepe is rewriting human history. Located near Şanlıurfa in southeastern Turkey, this archaeological site is the oldest known monumental temple complex in the world, built around 9600 BCE. Circular enclosures with towering T-shaped stone pillars are adorned with carvings of animals, abstract symbols, and human-like figures, hinting at forgotten rituals and beliefs of early hunter-gatherer societies. The sheer scale and sophistication of the site challenge assumptions about the birth of religion and civilization. Walking here is like entering a sacred riddle carved in stone. Standing among these ancient sentinels, you feel the hum of humanity's first prayers. The silence is not empty, it's filled with the echoes of the world's earliest storytellers. Here, you're not just visiting history, you're stepping into the dawn of human imagination. The surrounding hills roll under the same sun that lit the builders' faces 12,000 years ago. Archaeologists say they've only uncovered a fraction, most of its secrets still sleep beneath the earth. It's a place that doesn't just answer questions, it creates bigger ones. 10. Lake Van and Akdamar Island, sacred waters and Armenian legacy. Nestled in the far east of Turkey, Lake Van is the country's largest lake, a vast, saline body of turquoise water ringed by volcanic mountains and rugged plateaus. In its heart lies Akdamar Island, home to the spectacular 10th century Armenian Cathedral of the Holy Cross, a treasure of medieval architecture. Its intricate reliefs, carved into pink tufa stone, depict biblical scenes and mythological figures. Ride a boat across the shimmering lake, visit tiny lakeside villages, and savor the regional specialty, Van breakfast, a culinary feast like no other. In spring, the island bursts into bloom with almond blossoms, surrounding the cathedral in a sea of color. It's a place where faith, Nature and ancient art float together on tranquil waters. At sunset, the lake mirrors the mountains in golden light, creating a view that feels like it belongs to another world. Every ripple on its surface carries whispers of centuries past. Winter brings a silver stillness, with snow-dusted peaks watching over the icy expanse. Local legends tell of kings, lovers, and battles lost beneath these waters. Here, beauty feels eternal, and time moves at the pace of the waves.